Alright, this will be the day trading recap from July 14th, 2026. So looking at the pre-market plan, zooming out first, looking here at the 4-hour chart, price has been kind of in this, first it's been balanced between this resistance and support, but as it's been balanced, it's also kind of been making this upwards wedge move, making this channel, which is kind of tricky conditions to trade because you're balancing and trending at the same time, kind of. So today I had two key levels. The main one first I was watching was this low volume node from yesterday that held as resistance and rejected, since it rejected hard on CPI data this morning. This is going to be a very key level moving forward, and it still hasn't been tested. And then the other level I was watching was kind of right where this previous day closes. You can see this really tight consolidation overnight that happened right before CPI data released. So to me, that created a nice structure supply zone. There wasn't anything clear with an exact candlestick based structure, but you can see clear consolidation ripped up, and yeah. And you could have technically drawn the zone to the top of this consolidation. When you look at the trade I took, it ideally would have been drawn all the way up there. But the drawing itself is not as important. It's more the fact that we're looking at this structure because of this tight consolidation and then just absolutely massive rip. That's a demand zone to us. If it was the same thing to the upside or downside, like a tight consolidation here then rip down, that'd be a supply zone. But yeah, the reason I didn't draw it all the way up there is I like to keep my charts clean. I didn't want it to be too big. I wanted to be a little bit more precise with where I looked for it, but market ended up bouncing right at this level, so that's what I took. But we'll get into that eventually. And then still not there with the GEX data, but I am using my AI to get a little piece of information on the context just to kind of help me with what I'm thinking, and it helped out nice today because you can see it's 58 out of 100. It's pretty neutral. Like it said, it thought it was going to be a mean reverting day, but only with 60% confidence. So to me, that just means it's not really sure. It doesn't know exactly what is going on, and that makes perfect sense to me because the structure, like I said, it's not exactly clear. We're kind of higher time frame balancing, but at the same time trending. Like you get this massive move overnight, just not the prettiest action or levels. So we'll get into my trade. Price dips down near our key level at open. I want to go through this real quick, sorry. So yeah, I was watching the 60s through the 45s for buyers, technically 65 through 45, and then 07 through 17 for sellers. And then right here I said, usually I have like 4 setups, but I didn't today. I said, other than that, if we get a market developed setup, I'll be open to it. Environment is unclear, let the tape tell you. So that was really the focus today, is just reacting. Oh no, that's yesterday. So yeah, market dips down, gets super close to demand. Sorry, I'm a bit messy today. But you can see right here, not technically in the level I drew, but we got down to that 6.5 area, which is like if I drew supply or demand all the way up to that, it would have tapped it perfectly. So it's still a demand bounce. It doesn't matter that the drawing's not exactly where I'd like it to be. Okay, so we dip down into there, get some buying coming off of that, get a nice entry, scale out. It's being slow as heck right now. So get that entry, first scale out. I've been trailing below this pullback. When high day breaks, I trail to my same spot, to R. I get that taken with a little bit of slippage. And price did not really move up too far after that. Let's get my entry real quick. So we come down into the 6.5 level, the top of that demand zone. You can see this bid sitting here that starts absorbing these sellers. At this point, I'm not interested at all because I just see absorption. But once this aggressive sell or buying comes in right here, this is when I start to get a little bit interested. We break above this offer. You can see, okay, price buyers might finally be moving this thing. We've seen absorption, we've seen that bid step in, we've seen buying come in, and we've seen that buying break offers. So now we want to see exhaustion, ideally on a retest. Well, we get a little pullback. Look how small that seller is right there. That's a perfect exhaustion seller. Buying starts to come in again. Bid loads in here. That's the cherry on top. And I get in right here as this high is breaking at 7275. Stop loss at 68.25. Ideally, an entry would have been a little bit lower on this aggressive buying, but I got pulled a little bit just because it was getting so aggressive when I got in. And at the end of the day, we're not here to be perfect, so it is what it is. Nothing too much on this. You can just see we're kind of hitting that consolidation area. This screenshot was a little bit later after price already started to move a decent bit. Yeah, nothing too much here. And then this is just a picture of entry and exits. But yeah, nice little, pretty simple reversal trade. Demand bounce, or absorption, aggression, exhaustion. That's the A+ blueprint for reversal setups. So yeah, that's going to be it for the day. I'll be off tomorrow. Hopefully I can trade Thursday and Friday. Definitely Friday, but we'll see about Thursday. So peace.